Greetings and salutations, everyone. This is a video that I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen coming, at least some of my core subscribers. It just comes to a point when somebody just talks so much shit about you that eventually you have to respond. And I know that was your tactic, Inmendham. There's been how many videos you've mentioned me in? You know how I know? Because I have subscribers that inform me on such things. As far as you talking about your mental illness or whatever like that, as far as what I would say to Captain Awesome, how are you qualified to speak for me?
This was such a lame, stupid-ass attempt at an ownership video that I'm going to let my little finger do the video response. You know, anyone is qualified to speak for you because you are incapable of speaking for yourself. And the point is, I'm not speaking for you. I'm critiquing your hypocrisy and your duplicity. And that of fake Sagan, more importantly, who the video was basically directed at, asshole.
If I had beef with Captain Awesome, I would probably try and give him a free pass as well, if he does have paranoia and delusions.
You know, delusional and paranoia, those are terms used to describe schizophrenia. It's not classically the description of an anxiety disorder. So you really ought to get your facts straight before you open your mouth, but obviously you don't do that.
Your subscribers probably don't know that I exposed you, but I got the videotape. Actually, let's look at it right now.
Yeah, I guess theoretically I would be opposed to gun ownership, but I believe in democracy, and so until that's going to be the will of the people, or a consensus of the people, the majority of people, then yeah, until then, okay, we have to accept guns.
So yeah, Inmendham, are you happy because I included the entire sentence? See, the point of the matter is that what I was trying to say, and the whole fiasco that went on between us, was that you were against gun ownership. Personally.
You know, personally and theoretically, these are distinctly different words. You know, they have different meanings, they're spelled differently. You know, there's just no way you could confuse the two terms. There's just no legitimate excuse for that. So, what can be said? Yes, theoretically, I believe, you know, gun ownership should eventually be abolished. There's no future in it. But I'll get on with that later.
How you spun it. I mean, you should be working for the Fox News Network, for Christ's sakes. You on one hand said personally you're against gun ownership, but you believe in democracy. So, essentially, if you had a vote, you would vote against gun ownership.
Look, I've repeatedly pointed out in videos I've never voted on the issue. I have 400 videos, and over 400, and on none of them do I advocate the taking away of people's guns. I've pointed out that people could make their own easily enough, and it's not even an issue. It's not the weapon of violence that will lead to our doom. It is the attitude that will lead to our doom. It is your dependency, your sick addiction that will lead to the annihilation of the human race.
And you try to spin it as something else, when the fact of the matter is that I was right from the get-go. You just try to make it into a different argument than it was because you were losing the other argument.
Be clear on what the real argument was. The real argument was the simple premise that there is a convergence between violence and technology in our future that is unsustainable if we do not change something. And we cannot change technology realistically, so we must change the human race's propensity towards violence. This dependency on violence as a solution to problems is unsustainable. That's the real argument, and the argument you've ignored, and of course the argument you've lost.
You say you're pro-democracy, Inmendham, but why is it that every time someone has a different opinion than yours, you go apeshit and you act like a 5-year-old? That isn't being very tolerant of other people's opinions. You think everyone in the world believes like you, or should believe like you, and if they don't, they're going to get a healthy dose of video replies.
Oh my God, a video response. It's got to be the end of the world, right? A video response? What a scary, horrible prospect. You know, this is just so stupid. You ask for an argument, and then you get one, and then you complain. You know, stupid.
The main reason why I'm making this video is because you were mentioning OSHA, the lady that you're speaking of in the video, and why is it that you always have a high opinion of someone unless they're subscribed to someone you don't like, or they don't bow to your will? That's part of your intolerance.
It's just part of my understanding of human character and how you evaluate it. Yeah, I assume that scum is attracted to scum. And yeah, you measure people by their behavior, their words, what they say, what they endorse. Yeah, I've made that clear enough.
I will not sit idly by while you attack some female to get to one of my friends. You know, what does she have to do with anything? What does she have to do with this drama, Inmendham?
Oh, my pinky's getting horribly tired. Look, I didn't attack some female. I pointed out what are known facts, and I made it. You know, you're the one who makes videos titled, you know, let's smack a bitch around or something. I mean, your disrespect for women is notorious, and then you make an argument that women should be treated equally, and now you're making some sympathetic argument that she can't take care of herself. And the point is, I've made my point to fake Sagan, not to you, to fake Sagan. He's the one who's used this argument repeatedly against me, and I'm just pointing out that if he's going to apply hypocrisy as the rule, then, yeah, he's going to have to accept the consequences of that, because I'm not going to let it stand.
That's the reason why you disabled comments on that. That's the reason why you disabled rating on that video, because you knew it was going to get rated real low, because it was fucking retarded. It was a bitch movement.
I disabled comments and ratings just to keep the video low-key and to prevent the very kind of idiotic response that you couldn't help but, you know, what's the right word? Critique. That's right. You couldn't help but critique. Anyway.
And I know what this is going to lead to. You're going to do another embargo of me. But, Inmendham, this is all I have to say to you, buddy, is that I am aware from the conversations that we've had in Stickum that YouTube is very, very important to you.
For the record, I have never talked to this asshole on Stitcam. It's never happened. He said this repeatedly. It's never happened. Ever. Never. Ever. What this asshole has done is call me up at 3 o'clock in the morning on my telephone, right over here. You know, pretending, you know, using all kinds of voices, you know, trying to sound like a black dude or something or whatever. And I don't know what the hell he's been up to. I don't know what the whole point is. And the only conversation we had was about, you know, I pointed out to him that he's such an asshole. And, you know, he really shouldn't have an account on YouTube anymore. I mean, he's broken the terms of service more than once, and he just keeps doing it. And eventually, you know, there'll be a last crime, you know, finally, it'll be done. And he keeps asking for it. But that's the only thing we've ever talked about.
And do whatever you want to do. But the fact of the matter is that, yeah, I just owned your ass. Again.
Oh, I mean, if this asshole, I mean, he couldn't borrow the money to buy another ass, and even if he could rent an ass or acquire an ass somehow, you know, some ownership of one, the fact of the matter is there would be such a critical ass mass, you know, when you edit it with the ass he already has, you know, that it would probably just implode the fucking universe, you know. I mean, so it can't happen. It's probably against the laws of physics for this asshole to own any more ass. I mean, there's already just, the ass is, you can see the ass bulging out of its head. You see those lumps on his head? That's the ass leaking, you know, leaching, in, you know, trying to get out. There's just so much ass trapped in the black hole of ignorance.
Truth fucking